After 100 years of seclusion cultivation, Yi Chen's cultivation base did not break through, but his body became immortal and indestructible. However, the moment he broke through the mountain, he fell into complete silence. The reason was because he had 3 disciples. The first disciple became the Empress, commanding tens of thousands of cultivators to organize the ritual sacrifice. The second disciple was a notorious bloodthirsty assassin. As long as you paid him, he would work for you, his hands stained with blood. The third disciple was a lone ranger, able to control thousands of puppets with a slight movement of his finger. Yi Chen, who had secluded himself for hundreds of years, was also shocked to discover that his name had spread across the continent, and he had become the demon supreme, causing everyone to tremble in fear at the mention of his name. Let's start following this story together. On a moonlit night, in a forest, 2 sisters were being chased and seriously injured. These 2 belonged to the White Flower sect, the elder sister named by Qing'er and the younger sister named by Xiaohe. Although their injuries were not severe, they had exhausted themselves from running for quite some time. And now, the group of people in black attire has caught up to them, and fear this encounter may bring more harm than good. A woman leading the group in black speaks up, you've offended the empresses and now you want to run away. Despite committing such a grave crime against fate, you should obediently raise your hands to be tied. Xiaohe interjects loudly, what nonsense about fate. It's truly absurd. We were just attending the ritual of the Wu Ji sect. We saw you using the ritual to worship someone, and we were just curious why we were hunted down like this. Does the Wu Ji sect see human lives as worthless? Clearly, it's the demonic sect. The woman with purple hair glares and questions. Just curious about something, you say? Do you know who the person you asked about is the Empress's master? The 2 sisters from the White Flower sect are shocked and astonished, exclaiming, the Empress's master? Could it be? Indeed, it is the legendary demon supreme. He is not only the Empress's master but also the master of the poison supreme from the southern region. Moreover, the bloodthirsty king of assassins from city also received his guidance. You dare to blame Demon Supreme for being swallowed by fate? The fact that the empresses spared your sect's lives is already quite merciful. Whether you believe it or not in your next life, you better watch your words, she said while drawing her sword and charging towards the 2 girls from the White Flower sect. The elder sister hastily stepped forward to intercept and urged her younger sister to flee. Suddenly, a strange phenomenon appeared in the sky. From amidst the clouds, a bolt of heavenly lightning struck directly into the midst of the group preparing to brawl, sending them flying. Qing'er exclaimed in astonishment, what just happened? Did the earth dragon react? Not yet done. The woman with purple hair looked up at the sky, noticing a powerful vortex forming directly above the mountain peak, accompanied by continuous lightning strikes, gale-force winds reaching. From the center of the vortex emerged a mysterious man, none other than Yi Chen, the head of the Xianji sect. After exiting seclusion, Yi Chen sensed his own body and felt somewhat disappointed that there had been no breakthrough in his cultivation realm despite 100 years of seclusion. But it seemed that his body had been sanctified instead. Yi Chen could now be considered immortal and indestructible. In a way, it could be deemed a successful exit. However, to truly test his power, he needed to demonstrate his strength. Yi Chen swung his arm, unleashing a powerful strike that split the sea and sent rocks and earth flying, catching the opposing group off guard. Not knowing if anyone was nearby, Yi Chen continued to unleash his strikes, causing significant destruction to the surrounding terrain and landscape, injuring the opposing group in the process. Coincidentally, the 2 disciples of the White Flower sect emerged unscathed, leading the woman with purple hair to suspect that an expert from the opposing faction was intervening. She quickly decided, damn it. If the enemy has an expert assisting them, we must report back to the sect leader and retreat immediately. After testing his technique, Yi Chen felt satisfied with the power he wielded. The strength of his sanctified body was indeed extraordinary. Hearing voices nearby, Yi Chen suddenly became aware of 2 young women sitting amidst the rubble. Startled, Yi Chen wondered if someone had been injured when he had tested his technique on the mountain just now. He panicked, realizing that he hadn't been paying attention at all. Could he have inadvertently harmed someone? But looking at their composed demeanor, it seemed they were unharmed. He needed to confirm this quickly. Yi Chen hurriedly flew down to where the two sisters were. Xiao He, noticing him, became apprehensive. "Sister, that person is coming over here," she warned. Yi Chen, still unfamiliar with the newfound strength of his sanctified body, landed heavily, causing the ground to crack and generate strong force that almost blew the two girls away. The mountain, after enduring his impact, broke in half. After listening to the sisters' story, Yi Chen finally understood the situation. "So that's it. You were only asking a question, and yet you were hunted down by the Wu Ji sect," he mused. The two girls nodded vigorously. Wu Ji sect, huh? That name sounds quite impressive, almost on par with Xianji sects. And the Empress's title you mentioned is quite domineering indeed. However, being domineering doesn't justify indiscriminate killings due to linguistic errors, Yi Chen remarked. "If our disciple Wan Yener were here, she would never allow this to happen," Xiao He agreed. "Indeed, Senior is an expert, and his disciple must have excellent moral character. Isn't that right, sister?" Qing'er, upon hearing the name Wan Yener, suddenly became hesitant. Yes," she murmured. Yi Chen turned away. "Good. If you're both all right, then I won't linger any longer. Take care of yourselves. I have matters to attend to. Farewell," he said before leaping into the air and flying away with the wind. Xiao He watched him with admiration. Wow, an expert is truly an expert. He disappeared in an instant. Indeed, we could become formidable like that someday, right, sister? Qing'er, now trembling with fear, couldn't control her body and collapsed to the ground, mumbling, "Wan Yener," he said his disciple is Wan Yener. Xiao He, who had forgotten for a moment, exclaimed, "Oh right, the Empress is hunting us, her name is Wan Yener." At that moment, Yi Chen was flying, curious about how his disciples had grown up by now. However, he was completely unaware that he was the legendary Demon Supreme, returning to 100 years ago, before Yi Chen entered, before he began his seclusion. At that time, Yi Chen had just defeated all his enemies single-handedly before deciding to enter seclusion for cultivation. Wan Yener was still young then, and upon hearing that her master was about to enter seclusion, she felt saddened. "Master, are you really going to leave us alone for seclusion?" she asked. Yi Chen chuckled and reassured her. "Don't worry, I've already eliminated all the rebels. 100 years from now, no one will dare to easily invade our Xianji sect anymore. There's no need for anyone to be afraid." Tearfully, Wan Yener pleaded, "Please don't go, master. Your disciple doesn't want you to leave." Yi Chen shouted loudly, "Enough. I've taught you all my skills precisely so that you can live your lives in peace in the future. But the master cannot always protect you forever, understand? Throughout the Xianji sect, following orders, starting from today, every disciple of our sect must focus on training. We entrust you with a mission. During the 100 years of my seclusion, you must uplift the sect, back to the present." Yi Chen is flying towards the location of the old Xianji sect. While flying, he admires the scenery below, everything makes him very pleased. In just a short 100 years, the spiritual veins of the sect have been restored, quite interesting. Let's go down and see. When Yi Chen lands, everyone around looks at him with fear. Wherever he goes, all eyes are focused on him, no one hides their expressions of fear. Yi Chen looks at the houses in the streets and alleys, even outside the sect, everything is prosperous like this, not bad at all. Let the disciples train, indeed a wise choice. Suddenly, there is a stall that catches Yi Chen's attention, a stall specializing in selling wooden statues and toys. He didn't expect this type of goods to still be sold now. He advances and picks up a statue, reminiscing about the past. Previously, what was sold were all heaven-defying pills and body-exploding pills. It seems that things are getting better and better nowadays. Suddenly, He looks at the wooden statue and notices why the face of this wooden figure seems familiar. He quickly asks the shopkeeper, "Excuse me, shopkeeper, can you tell me if this wooden figure was made in the likeness of any great deity?" The shopkeeper, upon seeing Yi Chen's face, becomes extremely panicked, quickly packs up and closes the shop. "Our shop is small, please forgive us. Furthermore, raising your head 3 inches is to face the divine. Please turn back quickly." Yi Chen doesn't understand what's happening. Why is the shopkeeper suddenly so panicked? However, following the shopkeeper's words, he involuntarily looks up, only to unexpectedly discover a large statue that bears a striking resemblance to himself. The strange thing is that the statue is engraved with the words, "Wuji sect." Isn't this place Xianji sect? Suddenly, Yi Chen remembers the words of the little girl earlier. Could this be the Wuji sect? Suddenly, a man leads a group of women and accuses, this pirate intentionally dresses like the deity statue, and not only that, he also robs the shop, causing the innocent to close their doors and not dare to go out. A woman steps forward and scolds, "How dare you be so arrogant in broad daylight, you dog! Why don't you just die?" Yi Chen is bewildered. What? How can it be considered arrogant when I'm wearing my own clothes? I still want to ask you, what's going on with that statue? And where is my Xianji sect? Before he can finish his sentence, the group of women rushes forward with red chains to surround Yi Chen, then quickly employs the golden lock formation to bind him with chains. Yi Chen sighs and easily breaks free from the women's control. "Listen to me carefully," causing the women to sweat nervously. What? Her Majesty's golden lock formation was broken in the blink of an eye. Only Her Majesty can break it. Could it be that he is? As if understanding each other's thoughts, the group of women signaled to each other, then collectively left their clothes behind. Yi Chen quickly covered his eyes with his hand. "These low-talented tricks have no effect on me, so stop it." Yi Chen seemed to resist, but it was insignificant. The women appeared to be undressing completely, but in fact, they put on white clothes instead. Then they took out fireworks to celebrate, forming 2 neat rows and bowing their heads to perform the ritual. "Welcome back, Yi Chen, to the Wuji sect." While Yi Chen was still confused, the women approached him and led him to the stargazing tower. "You are the one who created the golden lock formation, aren't you?" one asked. "Yes, but..." Before Yi Chen could continue, another woman interjected, "Please come with us to the stargazing tower. Her Majesty is waiting for you there." Yi Chen was bewildered. Her Majesty? Who is she? Why is she waiting for me? What is the meaning of all this? "All will be clear once we arrive," the woman replied cryptically. Then Yi Chen was led to the grand hall of the stargazing tower, where in the center, behind a red curtain, sat a figure. The person inside spoke out, "Are you the one who broke the golden lock formation?" Yi Chen replied, "Yes, I am Yi Chen, the head of the Xianji sect. I've come here to seek guidance. Why has our sect..." Before he could finish, a woman flew out from behind the curtain, and it was the Empress's Luan Yener. She was overjoyed. "After 100 years, I finally get to see my master again." "Master, Yen Er missed you so much." Yi Chen was extremely surprised. "Little girl, you were so naughty and now you're a grown-up warrior." "Wait, let me go first," Luan Yener insisted, clinging tightly to Yi Chen. "No, I won't let you go that easily after waiting for your exit. Whatever you say this time, you won't leave without me. Even if we die, we'll be buried together," she continued, sitting on top of Yi Chen. Yi Chen panicked. "Don't talk about death so casually. First, get off me." Luan Yener pulled down her master's robe, saying, "You've come this far and you still pretend to be foolish. Your heart is truly wicked and detestable. But it's also good because the more you act like this, the happier Yen Er will be." She raised her hands to the sky, twirling them to perform the exquisite skill, the broken gate of 9 twirls, immediately using pieces of cloth to ensnare and control Yi Chen. Yi Chen was astonished. This was the broken gate of 9 twirls, the ultimate technique he taught Yen Er before his seclusion. Could she really be Yen Er? Master, over the years, Yen Er has mastered all the techniques you taught. Disciple diligently practiced in anticipation of our reunion today, Yen Er said softly, pulling the cloth wrapped around her master's neck closer. After today, you and I can deepen our bond even more, Yen Er continued, standing up and drawing a golden dagger. And continued, but before that, Master must give Yen Er a small assurance. I know you are very exceptional, but the human body is not invincible. Just by severing these legs, you won't be able to go anywhere. Yen Er glared and swung the dagger to chop off Yi Chen's leg. Don't be afraid, enduring a little pain now will bring eternal happiness later, she said as the blade touched Yi Chen's leg, but inexplicably couldn't cut through, with sparks flying. Yen Er exclaimed, what just happened? Couldn't cut through. This is impossible. This is an extremely sharp dagger, it must be because I used too little force. She held the dagger with both hands high again. Ha ha ha, now I'll make it happen, she laughed. Yi Chen calmly spoke up, this is not achieving the absolute goal, indeed Yen Er's way. My disciple has progressed so much, how can the master not progress? Yi Chen waved his hand, shooting out a huge fire stream to burn all the bonds. Even after 100 years, Yen Er will always be my beloved in my heart. Displaying a tough demeanor for less than 5 seconds, Yi Chen had to switch to a bewildered expression because he had just exerted a bit too much force, forgetting to control his power and directly burned Yen Er's clothes. Upon hearing these words, Yen Er suddenly became melancholic. Master, do you really think so? But Yi Chen was too preoccupied with his injuries caused by Yen Er's previous actions, spraying blood from his nose. Yi Chen rubbed his eyes and waved his hand, it's true, Master hasn't changed. Hurry up and change into some clean clothes, liar. Master said 100 years of affection, a steadfast heart. But didn't even mention our promise. You've clearly forgotten everything, Yen Er accused, prompting Yi Chen to hastily search through his memories. 100 years ago, while teaching Yen Er the techniques, Yi Chen accidentally used the destruction style too forcefully, blowing off Yen Er's clothes just like now. Yen Er cried bitterly, Master is a deceiver. You said this formation couldn't be broken, but in the end, Yen Er still got hurt. Yen Er's face and nose are all dirty now, I can't marry her off anymore, Yi Chen comforted. Who said that? In this world, strength is beauty. Yen Er is still young, how can she not be beautiful when she can drive away this black bear demon? The mysterious lady, why would she be afraid of not being able to marry off? Master wants to be with Yen Er forever, Yen Er questioned, Master wants to be with Yen Er forever, yeah, has Master ever deceived Yen Er? You promised, Yen Er and Master. And everyone in the sect will always be together, they interlocked hands as they made promises to each other. However, Yen Er didn't hear the part Yi Chen said afterward, only catching, Yen Er and Master will always be together. Yi Chen remembered and hugged Yen Er tightly. Yen Er has never changed either. Master has come too late. Yen Er pouted, gazing at Yi Chen before hugging him tightly. Master, why did you only come back now? Then Yen Er recounted the significant events of the past 100 years to Yi Chen. After hearing the story, Yi Chen finally understood. So that's how it is. No wonder you changed the name of the sect, to escape the pursuit of evil beings. It's been really tough. As long as Master is back, everything is small, yes, if you have returned, does the promise to Yen Er count? Yi Chen thought Yen Er was referring to the promise to always stay with the sect. Rest assured, Master won't go back on his word, Yen Er exclaimed in surprise, oh, Master agreed? Isn't this like an engagement? If it's about keeping a promise, that's the most important thing, Yen Er exclaimed excitedly, yes, Master, rest assured, I'll immediately find someone to choose an auspicious day. Yen Er wanted to find someone to select an auspicious day for the marriage ritual, but Yi Chen understood it as choosing a day to meet everyone in the sect, so choosing a good day for the meeting also made sense. Suddenly, someone arrived to report, "Your Majesty, the scouts from the Fenghua team have come to report. The Heavenly Book has awakened, and the major sects are heading towards Tianshu City." Yi Chen suddenly remembered, the Heavenly Book. Could it be that I forgot to bring it before my seclusion? Yen Er regained her composure and immediately ordered, "The Heavenly Book originally belongs to our sect. Now, Yi Chen, it's only natural for you to respond." "Messenger, go to the mainland and bring back the Heavenly Book," Yi Chen interjected. "Hold on, let me go fetch it." His expression betrayed concern, perhaps worried about the contents of the Heavenly Book being exposed. Could it contain some sensitive information? At this moment, the atmosphere in Tianshu City was bustling. The messenger, running and shouting, exclaimed, "Special news, special news. The time has come after 3 years. The battle for the Heavenly Book's ownership has begun. The Ting Chao sect is participating in the battle, claiming they will surely win. Will today's battle for the Heavenly Book's ownership mark the end, or will it raise more questions? Do you need a copy of the Tianshu newspaper, esteemed cultivator?" "Thank you, but I don't need it," Yi Chen replied. He looked around and sighed, "So Tianshu City is the former Six Forest from 100 years ago. The changes here are truly immense. It's been just 100 years, yet everything seems unrecognizable. I can't find the old paths at all." Suddenly, the paper crane tucked in his robe spoke up, with little Yen Er in hand, "Traveling across the mainland poses no worries. Please turn right at the next intersection. Yen Er, you mentioned there would be someone to meet us here. I'll get my belongings, there's no need for anyone to come and fetch us, right?" Yi Chen inquired. The paper crane responded, "All right, I'll explain the arrangements to Master. During your seclusion, the Heavenly Book was temporarily kept here in this city, leading to numerous disputes. At that time, Xianji's sect was extremely small and helpless, unable to retrieve the Heavenly Book. Yen Er came up with a plan, spreading curiosity about the Heavenly Book far and wide, causing cultivators from all over the world to fight over it. While this dispersed the attention of other factions in the martial world away from our sect, it also prevented evil forces from seizing the Heavenly Book's secrets." Yi Chen was quite surprised by Yen Er's handling of the situation. He packed up his belongings and went fishing, admiring Yen Er's meticulousness. "She has truly grown up," he thought. "We've arrived at our destination. The contact person is ahead, and there's a letter left for you," the paper crane informed him. "Oh," Yen Er left further instructions. Yi Chen asked, the paper crane replied, "Master, you don't need to worry. The contact person is a secret agent from the time of the Xianji sect. Our sect's contact code remains unchanged. You can trust them." Satisfied, Yi Chen said, "You're still meticulous, Yen Er. You've worked hard," the paper crane continued. "Furthermore, after retrieving the Heavenly Book, Master must return immediately. Also, you must not look at other women while outside. Just thinking about this matter already infuriates your disciple." With that said, the paper crane's eyes lit up, then it burst into flames and turned to ashes. "She thinks too much like a child. Master wouldn't have time for such things," Yi Chen chuckled.